Okay, this is level J, list 6, and we're doing the day 1 page. And here we have these words that have an E on the end of them just because English words cannot end in V. So let's highlight that E on the end of all these words. So we don't need that E there to have an effect on the previous vowel. It's only there because we can't have an English word end in V. So you can highlight that V as well. Right. So then let's get another colour and we'll highlight some of the other things that we can see in these words. So have, that's okay. Iv, live, iv, give, love. So you also know, because of the lazy monk story, that an O can make the up sound in words where the letters either side of it have a lot of up and down strokes. So you've got that in dove too, where the O is making its up sound, got a little of. And this is from the monks doing a lot of cursive, very fancy cursive writing in their books. And they found that because of all the up and down strokes in the words, people couldn't read the words and they were making a lot of mistakes when they were writing the books as well. So we've got that O making the up sound in many of these words that end with a V when we put the E on the end because English words can't end in V. So we've also got the long E sound, EA. And as a follow-up, we've got the double E for the long E sound as well. But that E at the end is having no effect on that previous vowel in any of these words. Okay, let's have a look at what these words mean. So we've got the word have. So if you have a bright idea, you'd use have. It's something that belongs to you or someone might have it. It means they own it or have it in their possession. Live means that you might live in a house and do some fun things. You can also say live, where you might have a live performance by some people, but in these words we're actually using it as the short it sound. Give means when you present someone with something, you give it away or you give it to them. Love is when we feel affection for a strong affection for something or someone. Dove is a type of bird. It usually indicates peace. Glove are things that you wear on your hands to keep them warm or to protect them if you're doing something where you want to protect your hands, like gardening or climbing. Shove means to push someone. Above means something on top of. Leave means you're going away from something. And sleeve is the part of your jumper or your shirt where your arms go. We call them the sleeves. Okay, let's read these words, sound them, spell them, write them, check them. So first one is have, have, H-A-V-E, H-A-V-E, H-A-V-E. And once again, because that E on the end of the word is only there because English words can't end in a V, you have to spell the word too, otherwise you might leave it off. So sounding it, spelling it and writing it, and then checking it at the end is very important. This is level J, list 6, and we're doing the day 2. And in these words we're looking at why we have an E on the end of all of these words when we don't need one. And the only reason we put that E there is because English words can't end in a V. That's why we have to put the E on there. All of these words are making a short vowel sound, so we don't need the E on the end to make the previous vowel long. They are all making short vowels except for these two where we've got the EA making the long sound. So that's covered. And we've got the double E making a long sound. So the E doesn't need to really be there, except English words can't end with a V. So here we've got a long vowel sound on the A. So when we say this one, we should be saying above, not up-bove. We tend to say up-bove, we give it a schwa sound. If we find it difficult to spell, then if you say it correctly, you'll find it easier, because once you give that a long vowel sound, you know you're not going to be doubling that B. Now, so we've got a short vowel for have, at, it. They're all short vowel sounds. Now, this has a short vowel sound, but it's a lazy monk word. So this should be an up sound that we're giving these words. But because it was so difficult for the monks to write these words with a quill, where they had so many up and down letters, and it was very hard for people to read these words with all those up and down letters. You might remember this story from previous lists that we did. They decided to change the U to an O in these words where we have a lot of up and down strokes in the letters either side of the U. So you can see it makes it very difficult for the reader to read that says shove. So they're the ones who made the decision to change the up into an O for, rather than putting a U there, changing it to an O. So let's have a look at reading, sounding and spelling these words that we've got today. So the first word is have, at, the, H-A-V-E, H-A-V-E. So we're going to cover those and write them. You can go through and do that on your own. Now, what do these words mean? Well, have is to own something. Live is to be alive. Give is when you give something away. Love is when you really like something, you really enjoy something. A dove is a type of bird. A glove is something that you wear on your hands to keep them warm or to protect them. Shove is when you push someone. Above means a level higher than what you're at. Leave means to go away or you've left something behind. A sleeve is a covering for your arms. So you have to use those words to fill in these meanings down here. We've given you the meanings, you've got to write the words in. Here you've got to finish off these words, make sure they're using these words at the top. Down the bottom it says finish the phrases to complete the sentence. So the clever adventurer had lots of tricks up his something for dangerous times. So he'd probably have lots of tricks. The saying would be up his sleeve. So you'd have to write sleeve in there. You can work out these other ones on your own. You may have to discuss them in your group or with whoever you're with. Write the list word that is the opposite. Now, when a word is the opposite, we're going to start calling them antonyms. So when you take something, or the opposite would be to give. So you can work out what these other ones are. Now these ones, we've got to find a word that means the same. And when a word means something similar, we call it a synonym. So we've got push. A word that means the same up here would be shove. So you could write that in. You can work out these two on your own or within your group. This is level J, we're doing list 6, and this is the day 3 page. So our words are have, live, give, love, dove, glove, shove, above, leave, sleeve. So you can see all these, and here all these words end with a V, but we've got an E on the end of them, and we don't particularly need the E on the end of them because this is a short vowel. Av, iv, live, iv, it's a short vowel, of, dove, glove, shove, they're all short vowels above. Here we don't need the E to make the previous vowel long in leave and sleeve, because here we've got the EA making the long E sound, and here we've got the double E making the long E sound. So the only reason we have an E at the end of all of these words is the English rule is that no English word may end with a V. So therefore, if we want to end a word with a V, we know we must put an E after it. Now there's also some interesting history here in that we're using the O for the sound in love, of, of, above. So why are we using a U for the an O for the sound in these words? And that is because many years ago, when they had to write the books out using a quill and ink, they found it very difficult to write words like love, oven, and one as examples where they used the U for the sound in writing words where there are a lot of up and down strokes. It made it really difficult for them to write those words because of all of those up and down strokes, and it also made it very difficult for people to read those words. So this one looks like a triple W sort of there. So in any words where you have a lot of up and down strokes in the letters either side of the U, the letter U, they decided to change the U to an O to make it easier for them when they're writing the words and easier for people when they're reading the words. So just be aware of that in any of those words where we're using the O for the sound. That's about all we had in those words to revise. This one's going to be a really tricky one, and some of these other ones might be too when we get down to verb families and plurals. So some of them are nouns and some of them are verbs. And we'll have a look at them in more detail in a minute. Let's do our read it, spell it, write it before we go on. So have, have, H-A-V, H-A-V-E, and then check to make sure that you've spelt it correctly. This one here, you've got a long vowel sound for the A because there's only one consonant after it. So we should really say A above, and that would help us to spell that one correctly. We tend to give it a schwat sound like above. Now here, these words are all nouns: dove, glove, sleeve, leaf. When we want to change them into a plural, we're going to add the S. Now, if a word ends in an F, sometimes we want to change the F to a V, then we add an ES. So that's going to happen with leaf. If you say the word leaves or leaves, you'll know that leaves sounds correct. So a leaf, a pile of leaves. So you're going to have to change the F to a V, and then add your E and then your S to make the word leaves. Now down here, these words are all verbs. So you've got live, love, shove, give. Has comes from the word have, and the last one is leave. So in the second column, you're adding the S. So you're going to have lives, loves, etc. You can finish those off. Now here, if a word ends in E, you have to take away the E before you add the ing. So the little saying is E goes away when ing comes to stay. Now when you get back down to here, this one is tricky because the base word is have, then you've got has. You can't say hasing, you'd have to say having. So just be careful on that one there. And then past tense would be had, like I had an ice cream yesterday. Now this is also a tricky one. I'll put a little alert there for you too, because you don't say he gived me a lolly. You would say he gave me a lolly. So just go over those. Make sure you read them after you've filled that in, just to make sure that they all sound correct, and they are correct. Now down the bottom it says finish the sentences with a list word extension. The gardener something, the something into the compost bin. I'm imagining this would be leaves. So once again, remember to change F to a V before you add your ES. And the only word that would fit in there would have to be shoved. Now if the E is already there in all of these ones, then all you're going to have to do is add the D. You're not going to put another E as well. Down the bottom it says combine with a list word, a something away, a something box, and a sick something. You can work out those for yourself. This is level J, list 6, and we're doing the day 4. And here we're proofreading for contractions. So what is a contraction? Well, we can shorten words by combining words and deleting letters. Which letters have to be kicked out? We ask ourselves. So an apostrophe, a little like comma in the air, it's a dot with a tail, takes the place of the missing letters. So if you look at the word she'll, it's made up of the word she will. There's a WI. We're kicking out the WI. Where we've kicked out the WI, that's where that apostrophe goes in. So let's see if we can read these ones on the side over here. We've got couldn't, we've, didn't, they'd, it's, don't, you'll, he'd, what's, who'd, we're, his, can't, whose, should've. Okay, so couldn't is short for could not. We've is short for we have. Didn't is short for did not. They'd is short for they would or they did. It's is short for it is. Don't is short for do not. You'll is short for you will. He'd is short for he had. What's is short for what is. Who'd is short for who had. We're is short for we are. He's is short for he is. Can't is short for cannot. Whose is short for who is. And should've is short for should have. So down here you have to circle the misspelt words. Now the misspelt words are always going to be the one with the contraction missing in it. We haven't put a little apostrophe in to show where we've kicked out a letter or two or however many, and we put the apostrophe to say we've joined two words together and we've taken out some letters. So Jasper couldn't believe he'd got himself into this mess. So once you find the word that's missing the contraction, highlight it, and then you have to, with that, write it on the end here with the apostrophe in. So couldn't, we know should have the apostrophe in there. So you can finish that page on your own. Just go through and highlight perhaps the word that should have the apostrophe in each line, and then go through and write them all down.